Welcome to the Stickers on the Mic podcast, brought to you by StickerGiant.com, where we talk with our customers about how they started their business, how they're marketing their brand, and how they're growing their company. Without further ado, it's time for the Stickers on the Mic podcast from Sticker Giant. Let's get on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Stickers on the Mic. Happy January here. Very excited to be dialing in from the Bay Area, Robert Liu-Trujillo. Robert, thank you so much for being a Sticker Giant customer and coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Robert, you are, you're from Oakland, California. You're an author and an illustrator. Your book is Furqan's first flat top. Mm-hmm. And you have a lot going on, so we're going to cover a lot of ground, I know. But I want to just talk a little bit about what inspired you and brought you to being an author and an illustrator.
Yeah, so when I was a young kid, I really disliked reading. I hated it, actually, and that's because I didn't see any books with kids like myself or anything like my family or people I grew up with. So I just did not like reading as a kid. But when I became a parent, I was really pissed off that it was still kind of the same. There was not very much diversity in the kids book world, and it's getting better, but it still has a long way to go. So I was reading to my son, and he's actually, because I was a parent and I wanted to read the books to him, he inspired me to get into this field and do something rather than just complain about it. So my son inspired me to get into the field, and then I would, test books out on him, read lots of books with him. That's when he was a baby. He's a 17-year-old now. So.
Oh, wow. 17. So when you say he inspired you, how did you take your story, his story, and then create sort of like a universal story, but that was also targeted, like you're saying, to a representation that you didn't see in the world?
Yeah. So I mean, to this day, I've worked on 9 books that have been published, and Furqan's is the one that's published, the first one that I published that I wrote. And the universal part comes in where everybody can relate to getting a haircut or being nervous about getting their first haircut. And that's, essentially what the story is about, a kid wanting to go get their haircut. But I didn't see very many books, like I said, about, folks like myself. I'm a mixed person, African-American, Latino, Asian, Native descent. And he's also mixed. He has even more. So I just wanted to get something that, one, represented kids like him, but also showed a father and son. There's very few books where there's a father and son. So that was my inspiration for wanting to do that story. There's a little bit of him in there, a little bit of me, a little bit of other kids he knew. So, yeah.
That's awesome. It's in its second printing now.
Yeah. Going to be third soon. It came out in 2016. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That was 5 years ago. I mean, you've obviously got a lot of other art kind of work going on. Folks, just for those who are obviously listening, the website that we're going to be talking about is robdon'tstop.com. That's an amazing website. So how long have you been running that URL? That's like, when it comes to marketing and stuff, that was a very definitive choice, right? So
right on, thank you.
I appreciate good branding like that. Other than the illustration and the authorship that you've done with this series of books, you're the co-founder of the Trust Your Struggle Collective, and you're also a contributor to a bunch of other projects. What projects you have bubbling right now?
So I just finished, I think it was the 5th Social Justice Children's Book Fair. So that is a book fair where authors of color, queer authors, people who make books about social justice related topics, specifically for kids, like comics, picture books, middle grade, YA, all that stuff. We get together and we have a book fair. And the reason why is because a bunch of us were doing books independently of the publishing world and decided to do something on our own. But also parents, teachers, librarians, a lot of people were hungry for books like that. And so from the gate, from the first one, there was hella people there, and it's been a consistent growth every single year of not only more people coming, but different types of people and different types of books. So that's one thing.
How long has that been going
on? Since 2018, I think, 2018, nice. Something like that. So that's cool. The 5th year.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, but I just wanted that. So you've been doing it for a while too, though. So that's mm-hmm. cool. That's building.
Yeah. A bunch of us. It's all volunteer run, and we get together and throw that yearly.
And you were saying though the other thing.
So other than that, I just finished a new picture book that's called Alejandria Fights Back, or La Lucha de Alejandria. And that is a bilingual kids book about a girl who's she's Afro-Latina, who's facing eviction in her neighborhood. And not just her, but her the neighbors in her building. And so rather than just kind of take it sitting, she stands up and decides to do something about it. And it's a realistic story because one of her family members is with it and wants to help her, and the other one is like, don't make any waves. And it's written from a kid's point of view, and I think it's something that a lot of children, not just in the U.S. but all over the world, can deal with, where people are being forced out of where they live. So that's a new book that just came out, and that was a project with the Rise Home Stories project, and the author is Leticia Hernandez, and that is the newest book that I have, and that one's really cool.
Nice. So you are like publishing actively.
Yeah,
like very actively.
I try to. I mean, it started off as like, let me just get this one book off, and then became, a passion of mine, not just to make books, but to engage kids and, being literate and reading books for fun,
Yeah, we can't get a book out of my oldest one's hands, which is like a good thing, but it's also like, all right, we got chores to do. And then my middle child has some reading challenges, and we've learned quite a lot in that process, and literacy in general. So, it's great to create things, especially for visual kids who aren't the best with reading, and then, also making it accessible to all ages too. You know what I mean? The Trust Your Struggle Collective has quite a roster of folks. How did all that kind of come to be, and what was your intersection with that?
Yeah, so the Trust Your Struggle Collective is a group of fine artists, illustrators, muralists, activists, painters. We started musicians as well. We started working together in 2003. And so this next year will be our 20th anniversary, and it started in the Bay Area with 3 or 4 artists, myself, Ben Rojas, Aaron Yoshioka, and Scott LaRockwell. And we basically all had some love of artwork, whether it was graffiti or murals. And we also had some ideas of social injustice and wanting to talk about that with the artwork and to kind of merge those two. And so we started doing murals, workshops for young people at things like the Ethnic Studies Conference. And then we also started doing mural tours where we would travel to other parts of the country and other parts of the world and work with organizations or campaigns and do artwork around, what they were doing to kind of highlight it or uplift it, and to learn. We learn a lot from the folks that we work with. And, it's a collective of 15 people. It started with 3, then 4, then it grew. And it's about 15 people now. And for a while, we lived in Brooklyn, New York. And so a bunch of us were there. But it's mostly California based, and there's people all over the U.S.
Right. Yeah. And people moving all over around, you know what I mean? Like just people working from everywhere. But that's pretty cool that you've been doing this going on 20 years now. That's a long-term commitment and clearly a cool brand. So when it comes to sort of your creative process, what does that look like? And obviously you have multiple projects going on, so juggling is always real, but how are you coming up with some of these ideas? You're saying you're pulling them from your own life, but as a creative person, how does that go for you?
Yeah, so I think the books are what really set it off. I mean, I started making artwork and selling it just as a painter, as a visual artist before I got into books, but I don't think it really clicked for me until I made books. And that was something that, I could make once and sell multiple times. And it was something that I was really passionate about. So if someone asked me, I could talk their ear off about it. But once the book came out, parents started asking for other things and librarians started asking for other things. So I thought, I just experimented with this and that. And then it became kind of a rhythm of like, let me try to make products that kind of support literacy and things like ethnic studies regularly. And, it's just, I think it comes from a place of like, what do I not see out there? So to give you a good example, I made a bunch of stickers that were all around self-care. And one of them that got a lot of good press was a sticker sheet where it was like a bunch of different things that said like drink water, stretch, go outside, just basic stuff. And there's a lot of people doing artwork like that. But 2 years ago, some major news outlets like BuzzFeed and Good Housekeeping picked it up. And so, tons of people bought those. And then before I had done that, I had done similar sticker sheets where it was like a specific one for bilingual teachers, a specific one for librarians, a specific one showing kids of all nationalities reading, having fun reading. And it's just a lot of trial and error. And trying to do stuff that I think is fun creatively for me, but also in a way that's kind of serving people who I want to serve. And like I said, literacy is a big one for me.
That's super positive. You got a viral hit then, which is pretty cool. Good for you. You can't, plan for those, but sure, you can be prepared, right? You have an Etsy store, right? Folks, when Robert was saying about where to buy or whatever, it's Art of Robert Trujillo on Etsy. And of course, Rob Don't Stop will take you there. But I love that. Like whatever, you can always put Rob Don't Stop in there. It's just fun. But I see the sticker sheets. I see Alejandria Fights Back, which is fantastic as well. And sticker sheets are one of my favorite things. I got a couple here. I got the National Sticker Day one is going out.
Yes. And Sticker Giant does it so well. I get a lot of compliments on the quality. So y'all do a good job.
No, but designing a sticker sheet, what I like to sort of see is how people get different, either create like a whole theme around something, or you could just be all peel offs, but sometimes it's like designed, there's a background and it's like almost like a little story on the sheet. And then especially a lot of authors, and I've talked to them where they add those as part of a book or something. And that's, I don't know, like that. I don't know. I'm a geek like that. Right. Yeah,
most definitely. I think we all are. Like, if there's something that you really are feeling, or something that you really get into, I don't know, it could be a book, it could be a Star Wars, something, whatever it is that you're into, like to have a little bit of extra, like a poster or a sticker is awesome. Cause then you can show other people and they're, oh, what's that? And then you get to geek out on your thing.
This Read poster is very cool. I'm just noticed this one. There's some very good ones. This Young Black Boy one, that's the name of this one. That's cool. It's a cool theme. It's like almost like a magazine cover. You're exploring a lot of themes here, and a lot of different modalities, from postcards to stickers to books to entire sort of curriculum-based things. When you're working with librarians, you mentioned that. I want to kind of circle back to this. What kind of collaborations can you do with them? Especially, it sounds like you're really active in the community where you are.
I think librarians have been really supportive of me, when I first started out as an author and illustrator. And so reviewing the books that I did, sharing them with other people, inviting me to come to the library to speak to young people and to students. And librarians are so awesome. They're really superheroes because, they have intrinsic, detailed, specific knowledge about so many things. You can go up to them and ask them, I'm interested in whale biology and it's a cross section with climate change, and they'll find you a book about that. So whether you're just a person who's looking for something fun to read, or you're a kid who's doing a book report, they can be really, really helpful. And when it comes to our society and like being literate and being able to read not only books, but like laws and, policy and, the back of a medicine pill box, like all that stuff is really important. But librarians are super supportive, and I try to be supportive of them as well by making stuff that I think, they tell me, is helpful. So one of the posters in my shop says graphic novels are books. And the reason the reason I made that is because there are some adults who, will kind of talk smack about, graphic novels and be like, get a real book or something like that. But they really are real books, really a form of literature that people are just in this country starting to really understand and like get it. People who love them, they've been down with it for a while. But when I made that one, I was just like kind of annoyed at something I heard an adult say. And then librarians are like, oh, give me 10 of those, like they're like really juiced about that print. So, and I read them with my son. He actually got me into them. I wasn't a comics kid, but once he started reading them, I was like, oh, let me check this out too. So
I love comics. I used to be into them as a kid, collecting paper ones, and now I have a few, and I get them for my kids, Star Wars stuff, because that's my geeky passion. But
me too.
I read them online. I like, there's some good sites, and I believe people should pay for them, and especially if you find one that you like. Or I like how they package them up now, and they'll even do variants where you can, not that kind of variant, like comic book variant. And so anyway, I am, again, I'm pretty passionate about literacy myself, so that's pretty cool. I noticed too, looking through some of your stuff online too, you were running a Kickstarter. Can you share a little bit about that process? And I mean, did it get funded, and how did you, what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So it was my second Kickstarter. The first one was for that book, Furqan's First, and that was successful. And then the most recent one was in November, and that was basically taking a book of artwork and compiling it into one art book. And the reason for that is because, as I mentioned before, I visit a lot of libraries and classrooms, and I get to talk to young people and to tell them, I get to read to them, show them my book. And one of the things that they love is when I just tried it one day, like, let me show them my sketchbook to see if they'll like that, so they can see some of the process. And they really liked it. And so after doing this at many schools across the US, I was like, I've always wanted to make an art book of, sketches and characters and things that basically show the mind thinking or the process of making something. And so, I decided to make a Kickstarter for that. And it was successful. It funded in 3 days. And I forget how much stress it is to make a crowdfunding campaign, but it's still really rewarding and really fun just to see how many people supported it. And so this coming summer or maybe late spring, I'll be shipping that out to people.
Nice. Yep. So it's just, pure publishing, and just that it worked and you were able to structure it for what you needed, obviously. What I mean? Like, I try to make it manageable. Right. Because if you put this massive number up there, it's hard to know. Yeah. So that's one source of how you're trying to grow stuff. What's next? So before I became a parent, well, actually during my early years of parenting, I started making these, going back to the self-care, I started making these paintings that were one-offs, one of a kinds that would say breathe or relax or dance or something to basically like get your mind off of struggling or stressing out. And the one-offs paintings did okay, but I think that for the general public, making stickers with similar messages has been much more affordable. So I've been doing that probably over the last year, maybe like one sticker a month or every other month, just to kind of build up a rhythm. And I've been getting a lot of them printed with Sticker Giant and other companies. And that's been really fun. It's been a reminder for myself and, for other people. So sometimes people will buy a sticker and then put it in their subscription box, or they will buy a whole bunch of them and give it to their coworkers or something. So that's been really fun. That's what I'm doing. And this year, I think I'm going to try some new things, like maybe some wrapping paper or something. But I love making the stickers for sure. Oh, right on. And that allows you to, well, like you said, they're affordable, but it kind of also just, you can create sticker packs, and you can have, like you said, a rhythm, but then you're also creating inventory that's fresh, right? Yes. And the zeitgeist is always changing. We see, like, as soon as something happens, if there's someone's print, like Betty White dies, the next day there's like a thank you for being a friend sticker. You know what I mean? Right, like it's like, it's legitimately like within days. Yeah. And not that that's a sad thing, but it's just, it doesn't take much for people to try to like capture like the pop culture moment, which is, kind of what we're in business for. But like at the same time, stickers and labels have a lot of different uses. Well, it is very cool that you're so active, and thank you for taking some time to chat with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and it's awesome working with you.
Well, it looks like you do a bunch of podcasts, so it looks like you're making the podcast round from what I see on your link tree. So
I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on my media skills,
Well, best of luck this year, and shipping out that most recent offering, and everybody out there in Stickers on the Mic land, definitely head out to robdon'tstop.com. I'll say it again. I do love that URL. And everyone be good out there. Have a wonderful National Sticker Day. We're coming up on National Sticker Day on Thursday, Rob. So
cool.
Enjoy your National Sticker Day, January 13th. That is a day to definitely promote all your awesome stickers out there. So enjoy that. Everybody else, like I said, you can hear more on the site, and we will have we'll be checking in on you, Rob. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That wraps up this episode of Stickers on the Mic, brought to you by StickerGiant.com. You can download us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcatcher. Thanks again for listening to Stickers on the Mic. We'll see you next time.